In a previous tutorial, I showed you the basic techniques to create an ArtMatic animation. Now I want to take you through a few strategies to control a bit more the behavior of an ArtMatic animation. I will be demonstrating on this particular ArtMatic structure. I already have a few keyframes, which let you see that this is a structure that produces very beautiful images with complex morphologies and textures. The structure itself looks deceptively simple, but it is actually rather complex. In fact, we have two compiled trees. A compiled tree is itself an ArtMatic structure that appears as a single tile nested inside the parent tree. It's a very powerful feature of ArtMatic that lets you use these subtrees within a certain structure, so you can incorporate the features and results given by a certain tree inside another tree. You can explore the compiled tree if you select it and then press E on the computer keyboard. So now we are inside the compiled tree and we have access to its components and its parameters. But if you want to go back to the parent tree, just press C again. We can preview in the canvas the animation that results from those 4 keyframes. To do that, you will click on the Animate Keyframe button. Real-time animation preview is done at reduced resolution because ArtMatic systems can be computationally too demanding to calculate fully in real time. I want to develop the animation even further by adding more keyframes. I'll select the last one and recall the mutation dialog. You can see that the first group of mutation still retains the feature of some sort of abstract object that results from clusters of these glowing streaks. But at some point, the mutations are so dramatic that you lose control of this object and the images become just some colored noise. Let's assume that I'm interested only in the first group of mutations, so I will choose a few of them as additional keyframes. If I preview the animation now, you will notice that it evolves at a faster pace. That is because we added keyframes, but the duration of the animation that interpolates between them is still set to the original value of 10 seconds. So let's set it to 20 seconds instead. Let's save the changes we've just made as, for example, glow lines number 2. Now let's select the 5th keyframe and use the zoom and panning to move and enlarge this object. We can now replace this amended version of the keyframe on top of the original one. Next, I want to develop my animation even further without relying on the mutation dialog. First thing, I need to get to know the structure and try to understand it. In this case, the only way to do that is to use good old elbow grease, as well as your ArtMatic experience and intuition. You need to check out the various parameters in the various components, fiddle with them, and test what effect they produce on the images. When you do that, you need to consider that in general, not always, but in general, the tiles high above control the type of shapes or geometries you are creating, as well as general properties such as rotation and perspective. The tiles in the middle will probably control how these shapes are transformed, maybe distorted, maybe warped, and the tiles below would probably control the color behavior of the image. For example, let's go inside the first compiled tree and see if I can somehow morph this glowing object. I'll select the first tile and fiddle with the first parameter. You can see that immediately I get some interesting and rather substantial results. I will try to alter also the other parameters of this tile, then add the resulting image as an additional keyframe. I will repeat the process to create a few more keyframes. Zoom in, pan, add keyframe. You may notice that often subtle changes of a certain parameters yields dramatic changes in the resulting image, and this is a wonderful feature of ArtMatic, which is related to the particular type of mathematics governing the behavior of the various components.